The judge gave my ex-husband full custody of our 2 kids, and everyone in the courtroom looked at me with pity. My lawyer whispered, "We can appeal." I shook my head. "No," I said quietly. "Let him have what he wanted." My ex, Daniel, smiled like he'd won the lottery. He hugged his attorney and walked out with our 10-year-old son, Ethan, and our 8-year-old daughter, Lily. They barely looked at me. For months, Daniel had convinced them I cared more about my career than about them. I didn't blame my children. They were too young to see through manipulation. I simply hugged them goodbye and said, "I'll always love you. Call me whenever you need me." 3 years earlier, Daniel had lost his job. Instead of finding another one, he decided to start a business that never made a dollar. I became the only source of income, working long hours as a project manager to pay the mortgage, groceries, school expenses, and medical bills. While I worked, Daniel stayed home with the kids. Everyone assumed he was an amazing father because he was always present at school events. They didn't see the unpaid bills, the dirty house, or the hours he spent playing video games while the kids watched TV. Every time I suggested he get a job, we'd argue. Then I discovered he'd secretly emptied our savings account and was hiding thousands of dollars in credit card debt. When I confronted him, he filed for divorce first. During the custody hearing, his lawyer painted me as an absent mother who chose work over family. Technically, I did work long hours. What they never mentioned was why. The judge believed Daniel could provide the more stable home. I accepted the decision. 3 months later, Daniel stopped paying the mortgage. 6 months later, the electricity was disconnected twice because the bills went unpaid. The kids began missing school because Daniel couldn't wake up in the mornings. One evening, Ethan secretly called me. "Mom, Dad says we're fine, but we don't have any food except cereal." I drove over immediately. The refrigerator was nearly empty. The house smelled terrible. Laundry covered every room. Daniel was asleep on the couch while the television blasted in the background. My heart broke. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I simply took pictures, bought groceries, and left after making dinner for the kids. Over the next 2 months, Ethan and Lily called me more often. Sometimes they needed help with homework. Sometimes they just wanted someone to listen. Every conversation was saved. Every missed school report was documented. Every unpaid utility notice became evidence. I never spoke badly about their father. I simply showed up every single time they needed me. Eventually, the school counselor contacted Child Protective Services after noticing the children's declining health and attendance. An investigation followed. Daniel blamed everyone except himself. He said I had turned the kids against him. The investigator wasn't interested in excuses. She looked at facts. A month later, I received a phone call from my attorney. "It's time," she said. "We filed for a custody modification." This hearing felt very different. There were attendance records, medical reports, photos, bank statements, witnesses. Even Ethan, now 11, asked to speak privately with the judge. After the hearing, the judge ruled that primary custody should immediately transfer to me. Daniel looked shocked. He stared at me as if I'd somehow cheated. Outside the courthouse, he finally spoke. "You planned this." I looked him in the eyes. "No, Daniel. I prepared for reality. I never wanted to take the kids from you. I wanted you to be the father they deserved." He had no answer. The children moved into my apartment that weekend. It wasn't a big place. The bedrooms were small. The furniture didn't match, but the refrigerator was full. Homework got done. Bedtimes became consistent. The lights stayed on. For the first time in years, our home felt peaceful. A few weeks later, Lily hugged me before school. "Mom," she whispered, "I thought you worked because you didn't love us." Tears filled my eyes. "I worked because loving you meant making sure you had everything you needed." She smiled. "I know that now." Daniel eventually found a steady job and started rebuilding his life. I never stopped encouraging the kids to spend time with him. They deserved a relationship with both parents, as long as it was healthy. Looking back, losing custody that first day felt like the worst moment of my life. But fighting with anger wouldn't have changed anything. Patience did. Truth did. Actions did. Sometimes, the strongest parent isn't the one who wins in court first. It's the one who quietly keeps showing up